Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hecticfred and I'm on YouTube now, bro. Start of something new, the start of something great. I'm hoping that this is the first of many, many episodes that I drop on this channel, bro. I'm just stoked to be here, man. There has been so much that has led up to this moment, mate. I've uploaded to YouTube before, just as a teenager, bro. My mates in high school will remember the cringe videos I released when I was in year 7. There are plenty of unlisted videos and private videos on this channel, alright? And there are channels in the past that have been deleted. I wish I could just go back and watch those videos of me when I was like 12 years old, bro, wanting to make it on YouTube. Never thought that I would, like at that time, I really always wanted to do something like this. But you can't really, like a 12-year-old kid, it's just a pipe dream to be doing social media full time, to be doing content full time. You never actually think you're going to be in this position. But here I am now, officially 5 or 6. This is week 6, I think. I say week 7, the start of week 7 of doing this full time. And the YouTube has always been something that I wanted to do. And you know what? Today's the day. I'm starting it early because what did I do on the weekend? I didn't post a video celebrating the dogs win, and that's a problem, all right? What's the real reason? This is going to be a yarn. I'm going to tell you right now, but just disclaimer. This is going to be a long show, all right? Listen, take my trade offer. I didn't post my 10-minute video that I post pretty much every week, win, lose, or draw. I can't even remember the last time I missed one. So take my trade offer. I didn't give you that. Instead, I'm giving you Bulldogs Unfiltered, essentially, today. That's what we're going to call it. Fuck it. I just came up with that name on the fly. Bulldogs Unfiltered, cuz. I don't know how long this is going to go for. But I'm doing this because I know I'm really, really going to enjoy it. And I'm doing it all in one take, bro. I might do a little bit of editing just to cut out some bullshit because this could be a very long episode. But I'm just happy to be here. I'm in a makeshift setup right now. I'm still renovating my room, my office. I moved houses recently, man, and you guys have seen that video surely of me slipping down my driveway and tearing the rest of my already partially torn ACL. The reason why I didn't post this week was, listen, I'm going to as many games as I can before my surgery in 2 weeks now, basically 2 weeks, and I spent, this is year 5 I'm in right now, right? The amount of times I've said no to my mates, the amount of times I've said no to family, the amount of times I've just sacrificed stuff because I wanted to make content, because I knew that I would be rewarded in the future. Now that I have surgery coming up, and now that I'm sort of like still on the high from like making it full time, you know what I mean? And having some stuff lined up for the future and everything like that, I'm saying, you know what, these next few weeks, I'm going to live my life a bit, bro, because I know I'm going to be doing surgery on my knee. I'm going to be out of action. I'm not going to be able to go to games. I'm not going to be able to see the boys as much. I'm not going to be able to go out. I'm not going to be able to drive, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm spending the next few weeks doing it as much as possible. Again, I'm trying my best to still put out some good content. But like that's the reason why I missed out on the dogs videos, because like I didn't get home till 2 in the morning and I was tired. And what did I have to do Sunday morning? Go to boxing. And I'm like, I just hit me and I'm like, damn, I really missed the 10-minute yarn that I have after every game. And I really want to talk about, and this video right here I've been wanting to do for a while. But I'm like, do I want to start something and then have to stop because I've got surgery and I can't move and shit? No, I'm like, I've pushed all my plans that I had for full time till after I come back from surgery and I'm back on my feet after about a month or 2 after, right? So there's a ton of stuff coming. But I said, I owe you guys something because I missed the 10-minute video. If I'm going to repay you guys with some quality content, it's going to be something big. And that's why we're doing this video. We're just going to be talking about the Bulldogs for the next hour and whatever it ends up being. I know it's not going to go under an hour because I've got a lot to talk about. And I've got a lot on my chest, and there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. And I actually want to have a look at this whole season as a whole because it's been crazy, not just from a Bulldog standpoint, but from an NRL standpoint. This season has been absolutely bonkers. And listen, so accept my trade offer, please. I didn't give you your 10-minute yarn. I saw all the DMs. I saw all the comments. I told you, I'm like, and I read these and I felt that I left you guys hanging, and I never want that feeling. So as repayment, you're getting this video on a new platform. I get it. I'll try my best to chop this up and post this on IG and stuff. But yeah, it's it's been a crazy year for me as well. All right, not just good. It's been overwhelmingly good. Let's be real here. But there's been some rocky waters that I've had to sort of deal with. The big thing being the whole TikTok thing, right? Like I can't even post footage there anymore. I'm hoping that changes. Seeing a video from Andrew Abdo today was incredible. But like talking about how he said we're all gonna have access, which is really good to hear. But let's see what happens. All right, I want to trust the NRL, but I can't get my hopes up. All right, I'll believe it when I see it. Now, boys, what are we gonna talk about? Now, sorry to the chicks out there. I'm from out west. I call everybody bro, cousin, man. You should have seen the amount of times my mum wants to like hit me, not hit me, but like she gets mad at me. I'm your mum. Don't call me bro. I call everyone I love bro and cuz and man. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to not be inclusive. All right. I've actually received comments about this before, and I have to explain it. I'm like, man, I love all of these, but when the people I love, I just call them the boys, even though that might extend to the women out there. To the women out there, I love you. So like, all right, don't be disheartened. You're included in the boys too. It's hard to explain, but just please believe me. But nonetheless, boys, let's start off with a great performance. That was the win on the weekend. Let's be real here. That is a win that you can't discredit us. Like you can't take that one off us. You can say the week before, oh, it's just the Tigers. You can say all this other shit. Bro, we beat the Warriors, man. And that was a big win for us. They haven't looked the best the last few weeks, I get it. But I'm just happy with how we played. And we've beaten the Warriors the last few times now, which is really good. I guess it's two very similar systems with, both Webster and Serraldo both come from Penrith. They both implement the same system, I guess. It's just good to see Serraldo get another one up on Webster there, right? And that win is massive for the course of our season, in my opinion. If we lost that game, I think that's season over, because we do have a hard run coming up, and we're going to get into that. I feel like if I have a schedule or timestamps or whatever to give you guys, I think the order that we're going in today is the win on the weekend. Then I'm going to go start basically from round one, and let's look at the reasons why we got off to the start that we did. The first half of the season was very rough. Let's be honest here. And the amount of narratives that have come through the Dogs, or come about the Dogs from the media this year has been crazy. Some of them incredibly outlandish, absolute reaches like Brett Reed and us being a better team without Critter. Please, we're definitely talking about that shit. And that's why this is going to be a long episode, because I'm addressing all this shit. And I think people are going to start to understand the whole Lachlan Galvin situation a little bit more now, with a bunch of stories coming out of the Tigers camp recently, and it's just chaos over there. Can you really blame Lockie for leaving now? I think he saw shit like this coming. I don't know, man. But nonetheless, we'll talk about the start of the season, and we'll talk about the part of the season that we're in right now, and then we're going to talk about from here on, from this game, from this win, the run home, how we're going to make it to the key games that we need to win, how we're going to win those games. I want to talk about all that shit. Now, I really wish I could break down some of the things I'm going to talk about, like with video footage and breaking down like the X's and O's part of the game, but I'm not allowed to do that on YouTube, so that's a bit shit. But we're going to be talking about, I think, with the Warriors game, and I said this on my little video that I made when I was stuck in traffic on the way to the game, we had to win the battle of the middle. Now, I've been saying this all year. This is the biggest part of rugby league. More than your halves, more than your more than your backs. It's the forwards. The forwards are it's the engine room of the team, bro. All right. Without forwards going forward, you're going backwards, bro. It's that simple. And listen, maybe Maybe it's because I was a forward for most of the years that I played rugby league, right? But I just feel like the forwards as a whole and the battle of the middle, winning around the ruck, mate, progressing up the field is the most important thing in rugby league because it makes everything like if you're making meters, if you're getting up the park, it makes life easier for everybody. This is always the problem with when people point the finger at Nathan Cleary in Origin. A lot of the times that he didn't succeed is because we lost the battle in the middle of the park. And in Origin, the middle of the park is more important than any other part, in any other game in rugby league, mate. All right. And sorry to go on a tangent. We're going to be going on lots of tangents because that's how I roll, right? But I always feel like it's harsh on Nathan a lot of the time because the fingers should be pointed towards the forwards and the bench rotation and the guys that are stopping us from winning in the middle. If you get outplayed there, you're playing on hard mode. It's why I hate the narrative that it's easier for a player on a bad team to look better because he's around a bunch of shit players, so it's easy for him to stand out. In rugby league, it is the opposite. If you are playing with shit forwards, you are playing rugby league on hard mode. And that's what we've had to be. This is what we've had to endure, especially a lot in the first half of the season. You lose the battle in the middle of the park. You make errors. You don't make yardage. You don't have a good last tackle kick to bail you out like we've had in the past with Matt Burton and stuff. Like you put yourself in struggle street. You really do. And when it's so easy to go on tilt in rugby league when as a team when you are not going forward and you just put so much pressure on yourself and with all the set restarts and all the 6 agains and all the penalties that they were calling in the first half of the year, it was absolutely fucking us. All right. So this was a game where we're versing the Warriors, a Penrith-based system which is predicated on like completing your sets, getting to last tackle, aggressive defense in the middle, and they have the defensive system that has been put in place for a lot of teams that have had a lot of success defensively, man. And it's part of the modern game now. So many teams have picked up the Penrith style of defense, man. And we're one of them. All right? And the Warriors are one of them too. The Warriors' best red zone defense in the league. This was not going to be an easy battle. Even if we did get up the park, we had to attack the Warriors in their red zone, and that's where they're the best defensive team, right? Like on paper, statistically, that's where they were number one. And I was just so proud of the boys' effort on the weekend. From every single member of the team, I was so proud of them. Man. It was a really gutsy win, and it was a win that sends a message to everybody. And honestly, if there's a part of the season that I would love to hit my stride in, it's this run home. It's to finish off the season. You want to be going into finals with momentum, not going into finals having lost a few games in a row while playing your full team like we did last year, all right? And if we are going to turn the season around, now is the time. We are so close to cracking it into the 8. I can't believe this, to be honest. I really was expecting a down year, possibly bottom 4 with the way that we were playing this season. The club wasn't really giving me the hope to say that, they weren't giving me the performances. Besides the Penrith game, they really weren't giving me hope to believe in this team, bro. I wanted to, but due to coaching decisions and injuries and certain players not being in form and certain players playing on the wrong side, it didn't look too good. But seeing it all come together against a top 4 team that were winning a lot of games, where they got 12 wins this year, you know what I mean? They've got some big wins under their belt. Like the Warriors, I know to beat that team the way we did, to win that battle in the middle, and to defend the way that we did when they were, like, they put a lot of pressure on us in our red zone, and we held strong. And a lot of people could say there was an off game from the Warriors, but I really feel like if they were off, it was because of the way we defended that forced a lot of these errors. There weren't a lot of unforced errors. There were some errors that uncharacteristic. I've never seen Dallin Watene-Zelezniak slip in my life, but that's the aura when Critter is the one running at you when you're trying to score in the corner. You probably think you're not going to score, so you got to try and come up with something else. He's trying to step inside, slips. All right. I was just really impressed with how he played. I was really impressed with his forward pack. I was really impressed with the aggression of our forward pack. And there are 2 players in particular that I would love to start off this. If you're gonna call it a glazing session or whatever, but if I'm gonna give props to two players, it's guys that have really been like guys that the fan base have not been happy with the last couple of years. But the two guys I really want to give a pat on the back to, because since the not the Tigers game that we won, the Tigers game that we lost, they've had to step up and play an increased role, and I feel like they've done a really good job of that. And they helped weather the storm when we lost Kikau, when we lost Preston, when we lost Tupanua. These guys really helped weather the storm by lifting their game, and it's Jamin Salmon and it's Josh Curran, bro. Josh Curran, since the Tigers game, has been a revelation, bro. He's been really damn good. And he's brought the energy when he started. He's brought the energy when he's come off the bench. He's tackling hard. He's bringing aggression. He's breaking tackles. Like, he scored a fair few tries the last few weeks. I've just been really impressed with him. And Jamin Salmon, I never thought I'd give this guy props. But, mate, we moved him to the back row. Was not a fan of that, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, at least he's going to get his hands on the ball a lot less on fourth tackle, because the play just dies when he gets the ball on fourth tackle, right? It's like Aiden Tolman 2.0. Love Aiden Tolman, but when the ball touched his hands on fourth tackle, play's dying. And Jamin Salmon was sort of getting like that, and it was frustrating, because as a team that's not scoring points, a team that's really lacking creativity at times, seeing him get the ball on fourth tackle and just and waste. Like, fourth is when you play expensive football. You know what I mean? And whenever we're waiting for some expensive football to be played and the ball ends up in Jamin's hands, it hurts as a fan to watch because the play's dying. But he moved to the back row, and he's done a monumental job, in my opinion, for his standards. Like, I've just been really impressed with them both. I really have, and I'm just so proud of him, man. And now that we're getting troops back, seeing them still maintain that good level of form with a smaller role has really helped us get wins, man. And this is a win that I don't think happens if we come out of the gates and aren't playing aggressive. And it's good to see Josh Curran like arcing up with Fisher Harris, like Jamin Salmon arcing up with Alex Twell. Like, even though he got the cuff and took a dive like he was an Argentinian player, like it's still really good to see some aggression in there. What dogs did we watch growing up? What dogs did I watch growing up? Are fucking angry dogs, like with aggressive players. Like, they called us the dogs of war for a reason, because every fucking game was a war. There are times this season where it feels like you're not. The opposition teams are rocking up to verse us, and they're not intimidated because they're not worried about our forward pack. But there have been games in the last month where, you know what, the other team's probably leaving the field in a lot of pain, mate. And that's what I want my dogs to be about. Just aggression in the middle. And one guy that started off the season quite rocky, even though some of his numbers look great, Leo Thompson, I feel like he's just getting better and better every week he plays, and he's starting to get into that like proper match fitness now, man. We're seeing some consistent like 100+ run meter games, which is good. We're seeing him consistently offloading, defending at a high level. Besides the Raiders game, I feel like the Raiders game was a bit of a blip in the last 2 months, but because there were some defensive mishaps in those games for sure. But I'm just been really proud of the way he's playing, and is he going to live up to the incredible price tag he's on? Probably not. But if he's going to do a serviceable job, considering how desperate we were for a front rower, which is why we paid overs, if he can keep playing at this level and improving, like the guy's still 24, 25 years old, if he can keep improving, I'm going to be stoked because there is a good football player here, man. All he's got to do is just hold that ball, bro. Hold that ball and try his hardest to make as many tackles as he can. There were some times in that Raiders game it was a bit rough. The Cowboys game, obviously, he made mad meters, but those errors were crucial. If he just hold on to the ball, he's going to be a really damn valuable player for us. And Max King, mate, it's no coincidence this guy misses games and we lose, and he comes back and we start to turn the season around. Those games, like he missed the Parramatta game, he missed the Broncos game that we lost against very, very poor opposition in terms of like the teams that were there that were playing that day. They were missing a lot of players and we lost those games. And Max King was missed dearly. I'm not saying he's the only reason why. We lost guys like Karaz for those games too. And I feel like those two players are some of the most valuable in our team because they provide so much for us that the other players don't. Like Max King is just super consistent, very defensively sound, barely makes an error, always runs the ball hard. Like I love Max King, mate. What a player, what a guy, what a man. And Jacob Carraz, this guy's numbers are absolutely fucked. Like if you like people like don't really understand the magnitude of the numbers this guy and the production that this guy has when he plays on the field. There is no coincidence that our worst run came when Jacob Carraz is out injured. And as soon as he comes back, it's like magically we start playing good. He got injured against Parramatta, missed that month where we barely won a game, comes back against Melbourne. That was the game that changed the season around. This guy routinely makes 250 plus meters a game. He routinely makes 4 offloads a game. This guy he's breaking offload per game records, bro. If he stays healthy, like, let's look at his numbers here. The amount of games he has 4 or more offloads: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 out of like fucking half. That's half of his games. He drops 4 offloads plus. Some of these games he's got 6 and 7 offloads. I've never seen this shit in my life. 6, 7. The Melbourne game, 7 offloads. These offloads create so much havoc in the middle of the park and create so many opportunities for us. This is a team. We are a team that lacks creativity. There's no beating around the bush here. That's why we've made so many reshuffles, because the team just looks dead creativity wise. If these guys, you give them a pen and a paper, they won't know what to draw. There's no creativity there. However, it is a lot easier to be creative against a defense scrambling because of an offload, because the second and third phase play, than a defense that is completely set and is waiting for your raid of their defensive line, right? And when we just looks like a much, much better team when Jacob Carraz is playing, bro. All right, he brings us so much yardage. He brings us so many offloads that creates so many opportunities for other players. And the guy is just a machine. This guy is battered and broken. He probably gets 3 needles before every game. And he's the one trying the fucking hardest out there. There is nothing in the world that can make me hate Jacob Carraz. I can't say a bad word about this guy, bro. He's the hardest working player on this team. He's the heart and soul of this team. I'm so glad we've got him locked up for a very long time. I hope he's a Bulldog for his entire career. And these offloads that he's dropping, like dropping in a good way. No, sorry, I'm just too used to basketball terminology, to be fair. But his offloads that he's coming up with are creating so many opportunities for us. It makes life so much easier, man. And this team is back to winning ways because everybody is working hard. It's like there were times this year, man, where we just looked so dead. We were downing tools again. There were such bad signs. But it's just so good to see us put together a few wins, us put together a few mad performances. Like, let's be real. If we don't concede to a Mitch Barnett fucking chip and chase, we're going 2 games in a row without conceding a point, which is really, really good, man. And I'm just so proud of the way the boys came together to win that game, man. I'm still going to talk about a few more players because, listen, we have made a lot of changes to this team in the last 2 months, bro. Matt Burton, my Pookie Bear, he's right there behind me, bro. He will always be there. That's my guy. That is my guy. Sorry if you lost audio a little bit while I was gone, but it's fine. That is my guy, bro. It was an adjustment seeing him get moved from the halves, but us bringing in Lachlan Galvin, sometimes bringing the best player available is good, but it means that the fit isn't always going to be there. And Matt Burton is somebody that has limitations as a player, weaknesses as a player, and you need to put a guy next to him that where Matt Burton's weaknesses is their strength: communication, short range kicking, organizational skills, make defense, like just running, being able to run the team is not a Matt Burton thing. He's not the most vocal player in the world. He's not the best communicator in the, like, you want your half to fucking be barking orders left, right, and center. I don't think that's who Matt Burton is. Matt Burton also, like, he can be a little bit indecisive at times. And this is me being critical of my favorite player in the world, bro. Matt Burton he was the symbol of hope for me, and he still is the symbol of hope. It was a tough pill to swallow to see him get moved to the centers. And I used to always say he'll never ever play a game in the centers for the Dogs unless it's like dire circumstances. And we were in dire circumstances here where the fit with Lockie wasn't there because Lachlan is not a player that complements Matt Burton very well. Matt Burton has some of the same weaknesses that Lachlan Galvin has. They're basically the same style of player. And that wasn't going to work. And that's why so many people want Sean O'Sullivan playing next to one of them, because Sean O'Sullivan's strengths are their weaknesses. He complements either Lachlan Galvin or Matt Burton in the half so well. That's why people like Toby Sexton, because although he's not the best player in the world, in my opinion, and Lachlan Galvin is without a doubt the better footballer. And like, if you're talking talent and ability and everything, yeah, 100%, Lachlan Galvin's better. But the fit with Toby Sexton and Matt Burton was great, and they worked well with each other. That's why it was a bit of a shock to see us make such a move like that so quickly. But when the opportunity to get a player like Lachlan Galvin presents itself, you sort of have to pounce on it. And I can't really blame the Dogs for doing that. I can only blame the Dogs for how they handled the situation after getting Lachlan Galvin. So, I understand the outrage. I was sort of on the fence. I try to back the club and back Lachlan as much as I can. But at the end of the day, it would have been smart to just get him used to the system, but keep Toby and let him finish the year off. Let's say you're not going to keep him at the end of the year, fine. All right. But the way we treated Toby was really bad. The way we treated Reed was even worse. There's a reason why no one's going off at the Raiders for letting Jamal Fogarty go, because at least they let him finish the year. You know what I mean? But seeing Matt Burton move to the centers was a tough pill to swallow for me. I was very upset for Matt because I know he's a great six. I firmly believe he is a six if you put the right guy next to him. But if you put in Lachlan Galvin next to him and getting him to try and be an organizational seven as a young kid who's still learning the game, it's not going to be easy for Matt. And it wasn't easy for the whole team. And there's no coincidence that as soon as, even though we moved Crichton to the halves, Crichton's strengths as a half are what Matt and Lachlan lack. And it's no coincidence that Lachlan looks like he's playing with a lot more freely with Crichton there, and we should always Sean O'Sullivan there. It's no coincidence, bro. It's because there is a weight lifted off his shoulders, and he has a vocal leader next to him. And when that happens, Lachlan can play off the cuff, fucking reactive football. He can play what is in front of him. He can take those carries knowing that the other half knows that Lachlan's going to take that run. And he's setting up the next two plays, not just the next play. He's keeping everybody in check. That's what Sean O'Sullivan did amazingly last week, where he's making life easier for everybody. And Crichton does that too. I think the best fit would be SOS and Lachlan Galvin if we're talking about purely fit, but you got to put Crichton in there somewhere. And the coach does not want to drop to Connor Tracy. You can tell that he loves Connor, and Connor works very hard. He might not be the most creative player, probably the least creative fullback in the league, but he works hard. It's hard for me to want him gone so bad that I can't see that he's a hardworking player. I understand why Serrato loves him. I understand why Gus loves him and why he plays every week. But me personally, I'm going into the Warriors game, I would have gone Crichton at fullback for some added creativity, and then SOS and Galvin, right? But I could see a world where Rinakama goes, Tuala goes to the wing, Crichton goes to the centers, and you have SOS but at seven. But I just feel like Tuala as a center is too damn good, bro. He's too damn good. And he's one guy that I will give credit to very shortly. But just seeing Matt Burton in the centers, playing with a smile on his face, putting everything he has into everything that he's doing, like every run, every tackle, he's playing hard. And like I'm just so happy that he's responded this way. I was worried to see if he was going to kick a fuss like another player is at another team. There was a part of me that was like, damn, I hope he's not going to crash out here, because we made top four with this guy at 6. We made finals 2 seasons in a row with him at 6. He was the most valuable player in the team next to Crichton with him at 6 because he made up for the weaknesses in our forward pack with an elite boot. Has one of, if not the best long kicking game in NRL. And his kicking game was so valuable. And I feel like it's another reason why we're struggling. It's because he wasn't kicking. But we'll go into that when I specifically start talking about the first half of the season and what went wrong there. But for this Warriors game, Matt Burnham was great. Tuala was also incredible, man. He has been our most consistent performer this year. He's been the guy I've been the most stoked with, man. And I think his position is without a doubt. His best position is in the centers. And a player playing that well every single week, mate, he deserves to start in that center position every single week. And at the start of the season, who would have thought he would have been a better player than Bronson Xerri? Because that's what he has been this season. I think the level that he's playing at is on par, if not better, than Bronson last year and the year before. Like, I'm so impressed with him because the guy barely makes an error. Every run, he's just playing so fucking well, man. He runs hard. He tackles hard. We have guys like Latrell Mitchell, which look unstoppable. And I know you're going to say Latrell Mitchell had a double. Fair enough. But the doubles were from errors from other positions, not errors from Anari Tuala, in my opinion. And Anari did a really good job in those one-on-one situations against the best center in the game, in Latrell Mitchell, in my opinion, right? At least with ball in hand. And that was a game I was like, fuck, I was worried about this matchup. The guy least worried about this matchup was Anari Tuala. And he's just gone from strength to strength. Just sick season from him, man. Honestly. And I'm just so stoked that he's playing this well. We really needed a player that is going to be a consistent performer after losing, especially now that we've lost Bronson Xerri. The centers are, we need to keep these two guys. Like, keep Anari, and we need to keep Matt Burton at all costs. And I'm hoping that he stays as a center with the Bulldogs. I'm hoping he stays with us for the rest of his career because he's my favorite player and he's playing really damn well at left center, man. Even though he's like the money situation is going to be weird because center money and halfback and 6'5'8" money is very different. But man, he's playing so well there. Let's just try and keep him there. Even if I got to pay overs for Matt Burton, I'm doing it to keep him there because, man, he's something special. But let's talk about these halves, yeah? Spoken about everybody now. Let's talk about these halves this week. I was very happy with how we played. Now, one thing I will say is our last tackles in this game, our last tackle decision-making was the worst of any game we played this year in terms of execution, okay? Stephen Crichton's kicking game this week, not very good. Long kicking game, not good. Short kicking game, not good. He had his first howler of a night with the boot. But what I did like was he's trying shit. He's being, what's the word? Creative. Oh, if we're winning 10, 12-0, 16-0, I want my half to try to be creative. He's putting in these short kicks. He's not getting them right every time, but the thought and the idea is good. Right? It's just the not being perfectly executed. But what happens if, with time, if Crichton starts executing those really well, it's going to mean more points for us, man. And I like that he's trying shit like that. I like that in his first fucking game, he's throwing a 3-man cutout ball. All right? Like, I am liking what I'm seeing from this halves pairing of Lachlan Galvin and Stephen Crichton here. I feel like there is genuine potential here. Lachlan is playing really damn good, and he's been one of our most consistent performers all year. It's nice to see a lot less noise and hatred going towards this kid. He's a damn good football player, and he's a lot better with Stephen Crichton or Sean O'Sullivan next to him than he is with Matt Burton next to him because those two players complement him more. He's playing freely. He's getting try assists, and Crichton is taking a big load off of his shoulders so that he can play his game. And in my opinion, it's Lachlan Galvin at 6 and it's Stephen Crichton at 7. I don't care what Serrato's saying in the presser. We're doing it, Cronulla Sharks. where the number on the back of the jersey is not reflecting what the role of that position is on the field. All right. They are not playing their role. They're playing the opposite role. All right. But I'm okay with that. It's working, man. And I'll say this. Center, there is a ceiling at center. There's a reason why every time you have an elite center, what do they want to do? They want to move him out of the centers because you're limited to one side of the field, can't really roam around, and there is only so much you can do. You have to wait for the ball. You can't go and get the ball. You are the luxury player as a center. Like, in my opinion, center is the easiest position in the game. You got to make the least tackles, you make the least runs, and you get the best quality ball. You're always put in the best position to succeed because you are the strike player. You are getting the highest quality ball. You are getting all the one-on-one situations that you could ask for. All right, but you are limited to one side of the field, and if you're against a good one-on-one defender, it's going to be a hard night. But what do? When the center reaches their peak, they want to move them to fullback. They want to move them to 5'8". They want to move them to a position where they can roam around. And if they are up against a good one-on-one defender, hypothetically speaking, the opposite man is a great one-on-one defender. Guess what? You don't have to engage with that opposite man all the time. You can go and find the weak points of the opposition's defense and attack that way. That's why. And fullback, it's like you just sweep around the back and you have options. You can do so many things. Whereas center, you don't have many options. Your options are limited. Your influence on the game is limited. It's completely dependent on your halves getting you the ball and getting you in a position to succeed. When you're a fullback, when you're a half, you can put yourself in way more situations where you can let your talent and let your strengths shine against defenders that are not the best in one-on-one situations. And that's why you have the best centers of all time moving to fullback. Like guys like Latrell Mitchell in the modern game, guys like Greg Inglis in a previous era, both moved to fullback, were incredibly effective at fullback. Like Latrell Mitchell, if he was able to stay on the field and not get suspended, they win comps, bro, with him at fullback, my opinion at least. So I understand the club wanting to move Stephen Crichton out of the center position because he is so talented. Why would you want to just limit him to the center all the way over there in the corner of the field when he could influence the game all over the park? I always thought that would come in the form of a fullback over the halves because we have a good six in Matt Burnham, but obviously things change and they believe that he is a long-term six, okay? And I'm okay with that as long as the wins come and the performances come, and as long as I'm seeing a benefit to him playing in that position. And so far, these past few games that he has played there, I've seen that benefit. Some guys will be like, well, the Raiders game, you got pumped. Yeah, but we bombed 3 tries over the line, and a lot of those tries were created by Stephen Crichton, bro. All right, and he's played with one of the best, if not the best 7 to ever live. He's not the best for me, but for a lot of people who Nathan Cleary will be the best. He's seen what it takes to be a great half in my opinion, and that's stuff that he can take into the Bulldogs, into this position that he's playing in right now. And I would just love to see them get more runs. But then again, Sean O'Sullivan did not deserve to get dropped this week. He's also a great 7. Might be the best 7 at the club in terms of the quality, having the qualities of a 7, right? But man, still a lot of promising signs from man, from this team, bro, and from this halves duo, in my opinion. And I don't know if we're gonna make the 8, man. It's gonna be a really tough run home. However, it's good to start. It's good that we're starting to show the promise that we showed against Penrith in a more consistent fashion, mate. And I'm just really happy with how we're playing. I'm really happy with how guys that were copping a lot of flack at the start of the season have replied, have reacted. The big one for me, and I feel like his performances he's really starting to get better every week since that Storm game. It's Bailey Hayward. All right. This kid cops it from the media, copped it from fans. My goodness. But bro, he's been a lot better these last 6-7 weeks. All right. I've seen him run the ball more in these last 5 or 6 weeks than I've seen him run since he started playing hooker combined. And he might. And when a hooker runs, you don't always see it on the stat sheet, right? Because he's not running and getting tackled every time, but he's just running, getting over the advantage line, getting past the markers, and then distributing. And I'm really liking that as well. But he's just putting a lot more pressure in the defense the last month. Just so happy with how he's playing, and he's not an elite hooker by any mind. But it's just good to see him start stringing together some good performances. And I think defensively he's really improved, and you can just tell this guy's putting in a ton of work, bro. And I'm just so happy with how he's progressing so far. He's still got a long way to go. He's still got a long way to go to become consistent. But it's nice to finally see him putting together some decent games in the hooker position. And I trust in this kid, man. I really, really trust in Bailey. And I think I'm just very glad he's a member of the team. And I just hope that he can continue this form that he's in for the rest of the season. Because we're going to need him to keep playing at this level if we're going to make a run to the 8. And these last 2 weeks I point to, we're really going to need to hold this level of form for the rest of the season if we're going to make it there, because I'm pretty sure the Cowboys still have a bye. I'm pretty sure the Knights still have a bye. And they're on 2 points ahead of us, right? They're the 8 is 2 wins ahead of us, man. So we need to find a way to get those 2 wins back now. Unfortunately for Newcastle, who are ahead of us, they've copped some major injuries, and with the set restart sort of starting to die down, they're at real risk of missing the 8, and we need to see that as a real opportunity to click it into gear and try to get those 2 wins back. Because right now, we're 2 wins away from the 8. We need to get those 2 wins back, and there are some serious games coming up that we can capitalize on, all right? Which helps our case because, again, I'll talk about it a little bit more towards the end of the video. But there are some games that if we win, will alter what Penrith do in round 26. Okay, because last year we saw they dropped everybody once they secured the minor premiership. There was a game against second. We've beaten current second and knocked them down to third in the Warriors, which is great. But the game against the Roosters is pivotal, and we need to carry this form over to that game. But obviously, we've got to focus on the task at hand, which is Melbourne this week. That Roosters game is massive. If we beat the Roosters and Penrith win, you could pretty much wrap up the minor premiership for them, which means they might rest their players in round 26 with the minor premiership sorted, which would be massive for us because it's a free win. And if we get a free win, we versus Broncos round 27 at home, that game could be massive for us. And it could be, and Broncos season is cooked. So, yeah, it's a big one. There is a lot that can happen towards the end of the season, but the form that we're in right now is good. I'm hoping it keeps improving. I'm hoping these boys keep working hard. And I just want to say one more thing about the starting team at least. How good was it to have William Mikika and Jacob Preston back? I've been holding this one off because they've been out for a while. But seeing them both start this week was heaven, mate. And they both made major contributions to winning this game on the weekend. William Mikika, best kick chase in the game, in my opinion. And he was just showing off what we missed, man. Like a dynamo, bro. He's so athletic. He's so skilled for a back rower. He really is underrated, in my opinion, man. And he's just, we miss this guy so much, and we miss Jacob Preston so much, man. Seeing them both healthy, playing in the back rows again is so refreshing, man. And they were huge in this game. Jacob Preston scored. What a line he ran. What a player he is. The club needs to do everything they can to keep this guy. We found a diamond in the rough. We got a gift from the Roosters. Usually we give them all the gifts. We got a gift from them. We got a gift from Manly, and both of those teams not wanting to sign this guy long term or give him a run. We signed him. gave him a run right away, right after preseason, and he has repaid us. In the dividends we've got on this guy have been incredible, mate. And there's no doubt in my mind this guy will be an Origin player next year. He should have been an Origin player this year. I can't believe we missed out. Like, I just can't believe, like, Dylan Lucas got picked over him. I really, like, as good as Dylan Lucas is, he had an offensive engine, like, making it so much easier than it was for Jacob Preston. Whereas we don't really have an offensive engine, and Jacob Preston was still scoring all of our tries, man. Like, Preston is an Origin player. He will play for Australia. The guy might captain this country one day. He might be the best back rower since. I'm genuinely not hyping this kid up. Like, this is a Boyd Cordner level talent, and you have to do whatever it takes to keep this guy here, because this guy probably should captain the club one day. If it's not going to be Crichton, if Crichton gets injured or whatever happens, like, hypothetically speaking, like, my next up as in the captaincy is Jacob Preston, man. That guy lives and breathes rugby league. He's an absolute champion. And I hope the club does everything in their power to keep this man at the club. Whatever he wants, he fucking deserves it. And I'm going to be straight with you boys, man. Guys like Harry Hayes, guys like Lipboy Hopboy, guys like oh my goodness, why have I gone blank? Jake Underhill, you know what I mean? They have helped us so many times this season, man. And even though we can't get the win, they make the team better. And I'm just loving. I'm seeing the progression here, man. And if we can get Satili back in the next couple of weeks, like with the way we're playing right now, that we're gonna be fucking. If we keep playing this way, all right, we are gonna be dangerous. The problem is, and we've seen it time and time again throughout this season, I don't know what team is gonna rock up the next week. All right, this is probably the first time in ages I've seen the good team rock up 2 times in a row. We need to keep that up. We will look like world beaters one week this season and then look like morons the next. We need that consistency to come back. I'm praying we can string 3 good performances in a row, because it would be huge for the course of our season. And Harry Hayes had 1 ear, and it was great on the weekend. Lipboy Hopper, whenever we've put him on this year, he's done a good job. I love Jake. I just love Underhill, man. He's just brought so much aggression. I was really upset that we left him out of the team. I know I called him Jake Underhill before. It's Jack. I don't know why I always get that mixed up. But I was really upset he wasn't in the team this week, because he brings that aggression, man. He brings that aggression. And he's just a fucking tough player. And we needed tough players this week. But, yeah, he's one for the future for sure. And I just like what we're building in Reggie's as well, like in reserves. And the young players that we've invested in, they starting to pay the dividends off, man. And I'm just so stoked that we're giving these guys a run. And I want to see them get more runs under their belt, more games under their belt. And yeah, just so far, the last few weeks have been good. It's feeling like we're sort of trending our way back to becoming a good team. But those 2 wins, man. Those 2 wins. We need to climb them. We need to get those back, man. Imagine we had beaten those understrength Parramatta Eels teams and the Brisbane Broncos teams that were understrength. The whole landscape of this season would have changed. It's a shame, but nonetheless, I still have belief that we can do it, especially if we keep stringing together performances like we have the last 2 games, man. All right, now I've got a few points here to talk about the start of the season. What the fuck went wrong? What happened to this team that we all loved? All right, and there were a few things that we did, and for me, a few of the reasons were coaching issues, right? So, going back to round 1, we start off with Bronson on the right side, the right center, Critter and Karaz on the left, and last season it was Karaz playing like right side. Like, what? We reshuffled the back line. Why? And then you go to round 3 when we played next. Massive win against the Raiders and Canberra, in my opinion. But again, more reshuffling. Tuala's in the back line now. Bronson Sherry's in reserve grade. What the fuck happened there? We go to the Knights game. Fucking lose to the Knights. The reshuffling hurt us there, bro. Like, and in my opinion, it's we've seen it so many times this year where us moving the position and the sides that our backline are playing in, the communication wasn't there. There were things that they would never do last year that were happening this year. And I just felt like because we kept chopping and changing the sides that everyone was playing on from last season, from preseason, it didn't really make sense to me because it was creating problems that weren't there originally. And because, like, just think of it like this: you're putting a player in an unfamiliar environment because he, like, and I know Xerra doesn't care about left side, right side. You're a first grader, you'll play where you're told. Fair enough, totally get that. But there is an issue that lies with that. The player, that individual player might know how to play left side and right side, but you're now putting him in an unfamiliar position compared to, like, who is outside of him. Like, that's uncharted territory for them, right? Because Karaza Crider never played on didn't really play on the same side as much. You know what I mean? They're outside and inside men. That's unfamiliar territory. That you have to develop those combinations on both ends of the ball, on both sides of the ball. You're defending. Communication is different with every single player. Every player is a different communicator. You have to communicate with each other differently. To like if I had my mum outside of me and some random, I'm a lot closer to my mum than some random. The communication is gonna be better. If I have my favorite teammate next to me and I have a teammate that I never have to deal with because he's on the other side of the field, it's gonna be different. There are growing pains associated with that. There are growing pains associated with moving Jacob Preston, who had our best combination with Lachlan Galvin. There are growing pains associated with moving him to the left side. I get that he individually likes the left side more than the right side. He's a left-sided player. He doesn't play there because Kikau can't play on the right and he likes the left more. Fair enough. But there are risks associated with moving the best combination you have, moving Preston to the other side. There are risks associated with that. Growing pains because of these decisions helped make things more difficult for us, which in the result helped lead to losses. Okay? Now everybody's playing on like their preferred side, and if they're not playing on their preferred side, they've had the time to build the combinations, both in attack and defense, that they're sort of hitting their stride now, okay? And it was tough for Lockie to build those combinations, and then they changed his halves, and now he's got to build those combinations with a different player. Then they moved his back row punter. Now he's got to learn those combinations and get those more honed. You know what I mean? Then they change his center. He's got to fucking change. He's got to learn, like a young player. It's going to take longer to learn these things. I went on Chad Townsend's podcast. The first thing I asked him was, how, as a 7, would them constantly changing your outside and inside men impact you as a 7? And Chad said it as clear as day. It would really impact me and impact every 7 because you have to be on the same wavelength. That takes time. And we are constantly putting in Lockie in situations where he doesn't really have the connection with his outside and inside men. So what suffered? Our fucking attack. What suffered? Lachlan. We went through a really bad period where our attack sucked. It's good to see us put together some games with some good attack. We could have scored more points on the weekend for sure. Warriors had some outstanding defensive efforts, number 1. Number 2, we could have executed things a lot better and scored some more points. But yeah, it's just been, I just didn't understand it at the time because, like, I get Serrado is, again, these players are good enough to play on both ends, but you have the growing pains, and the growing pains costed us wins and losses because The defense was disjointed. The attack was really disjointed. But our biggest problem was the defense, man. We were like, no one was really talking about it, but we were leaking points we were leaking points like crazy, man. Like we were leaking points like crazy, man. Like, let me go. You know what? Let's have a look at this, because like from like round 10 and shit, like we conceded 30 points or more. Round 5, round 6, round 7, round 8, round 10, conceded 40. Round 11, conceded 38. He conceded 38 to Parramatta with like half a team, bro. This is unacceptable. The defense was bad because we were struggling to keep up with these teams because we were making life harder for ourselves because of the errors and discipline. The amount of fourth and fifth tackle penalties and set restarts I saw from my team in those games were driving me mental. The amount of soft tries I saw in that Cronulla Sharks game, I lost my mind. Now, since then, have we conceded 30 once? Yeah, we have, against the Raiders. Against the Raiders. Right? Yeah, Raiders. Okay. But besides that, we conceded 12 to Parramatta, 12 to Manly, 12 to the Titans, then 40 to the Raiders. But I just felt like that was just a really weird game. And the Raiders game is a little bit different for one reason. The Raiders' biggest struggle was self-inflicted this year by moving Strange. Again, similar to us, moving Strange and Sanders, moving their sides. Strange not playing on the left side, playing on the right side. Now Strange is back on the left, and he's absolutely cooking everybody. And what was the first game they switched the sides back? Our game. We're game planning on the Raiders team that has been playing it the one way, playing on those opposite sides all year. It was a bit of a shock to everybody to have to defend the opposite number. You know what I mean? I see why that worked for Canberra. And also, we had just so many stupid errors in that game, including all the bomb tries, and outside of all the bomb tries, a lot of stupid errors there. That first half was very rough from us. But besides that, since the Sharks game, we have been much, much better. What else? I think errors, discipline, but the big thing with me was making it harder to develop those combinations. I feel like that one, like I was on the left side in that Knights game. We're obviously fully expecting to win that Knights game because they won the Spoon the year before, and they're missing Ponga and they're missing Brown. But that left side, like that was the worst defensive game from Critter I've ever seen in my life, because he's moved sides, the defense, right? The defensive communication was not there. Like, I am on that side, basically sitting 5 rows away from Stephen Crichton and that left side. You didn't hear much coming from there. And that's not like Critter, and it's not like our team to be lacking communication. And I understand, I love how Strata constantly points to communication, because when you play, it's the most important thing. Communicating, man. Communicating. And the communication wasn't there. Not everybody was on the same wavelength. There have been plenty of times where Crichton is not on the same wavelength of other players, right? Because we're just constantly moving everybody around left. And the chopping and changing was really impacting our season, in my opinion. And now that we're trying to string some games together where everybody's playing in the same position every week, it is helping us. Like, our left and right center and left and right winger is solidified. That's how they're going to be without injury for the rest of the season. We were making changes not related to injury, just changing people's sides. For what reason? Who knows, man? It's very weird. Very, very weird. You don't really see that very often. But since we've really started to keep everybody where they are, it allows everybody to build those combinations. They get stronger and stronger. You become more effective with ball in hand because their combinations are there. Everyone's familiar with each other. The chemistry. FIFA players know. EAFC players know chemistry. Very important. You have chemistry with the guys around you, Everything flows. That try that we nearly scored on the weekend, where we like ran some shape and the ball movement was fucking flawless, mate. Kick out turning around and throwing passes and stuff. Like, we didn't score off it. Matt Burton threw that pass to Rina Kama. I've never seen Matt Burton run and pass the ball ever. It's kind of crazy. He never does that. It's only ever run or not run at full speed, but pass as well. Like, he was running, and throwing a pass. And it was a bit too high. And the ball got stripped from Dallin, and they called it knockback from, well, whatever, right? But that was really promising. And that's what I'm talking about, chemistry. We've even got players that are like Kicker. They've come back after weeks on the side, months on the sideline, but they slotted in really well. Some players are better at picking up chemistry and building combinations than others. Older players are those guys that they've played with so many different styles of players and so many different types of players that it's easy for them to adjust. And Kiko adjusted perfectly. And but seeing that play was really promising. I'm hoping we can have more free-flowing, smooth ball movement like that again. Even though it didn't result in the try, I don't care. Really promising signs, right? But yeah, it's just we just had to settle everyone down. Just keep everybody where they are and just have a few weeks where we can just build on the system instead of chopping and changing and having to start from scratch every time you move someone around. That's what was happening, in my opinion. And obviously a lot of noise around our halves this pairing and our halves decision, and I'm sure confidence was low at one point from these boys, but I'm also starting to see that confidence. And speaking of confidence, let's talk about whether I'm confident we can make the 8 and where do we go from here. We are running out of weeks. We have 5 weeks? Oh, it's actually crazy. 6 weeks of rugby league left before finals. It has been, this season has flown past, mate. Absolutely flown past. What are we gonna do about these remaining 6 games? Which games are absolutely must win? And how are we gonna get into the 8? Now, most importantly, you get into the 8 by winning every game. But let's be honest, we're probably not gonna win every game. We might, but most likely not. Okay, this game on the weekend is a must win. Let's kick the Storm while they're fucking down, bro. How many times did we lose to these guys? How many, bro, I remember there were fucking betting markets on whether Pappenhausen would outscore our team 5 years ago. And how much he'll outscore our whole team by. Fuck them. I want to see us fucking flog these cunts, bro. I want to see us flog Melbourne in Melbourne. Kick him while they're down. Kick him while they're down, bro. They just lost Harry Grant. Munster's getting old and he's not been the same player this year. Let's be real here. Alright? Let's kick him while they're down, bro. I want to see us win this one by a fucking cricket score, bro. Alright? Because we need the utmost confidence going into, in my opinion, an absolute must-win game against the Roosters at Allianz. The Roosters are a great team. They've not been good these last 4 weeks. They're getting the wins, but they have not looked like the Roosters I expected them to look like, where they're scoring points left, right, and center. Now, if there is a team that matches up the best against us, it's the Sydney Roosters. Why do you say that? Because we have 2 wingers that are not super aerial guys. Kiraz is actually pretty good in the air. All right. But we have to be as good as possible in the air. And we've struggled with aerial kicks in this season and in the past few years as well. Roosters' biggest strength is their aerial raids, bro. They have 2 incredibly tall wingers that are probably the 2 best wingers in the air that are playing at the moment, because the guys like Xavier Coates are out. These guys are fucking incredible in the air. They have 2 elite kickers feeding him balls left, right, and center. They have a monstrous forward pack led by Nafahu White, who was a fucking guy that we always struggle with. And they have guys like Marky Mark, which they could put in a shit kick and Marky Mark would still be able to find a way to make something happen. The attack has not been humming for them, but I'm worried about that game, man. Away from home, The pitch is ugly, sandy. It's like a beach, bro. There's so much sand in that place. It's just a tough place to play. Did manage to beat them once last year with that crazy comeback, but they battered us away from home at this reverse fixture last year. This will be a massive game for us to win. If we do win this game, I would then be confident that we're going to make the 8, because the next week we have the Rabbitohs, who are going through a bit of an injury crisis right now. But they're still finding ways to win. I'm telling you, every single Rabbitohs player that is injured will return for this game, because that's what happens with us every year. It happens with us all the time. Bro, Tallis Duncan will return. Mate, Cheese will somehow be all right. Tallis Duncan will return. Cameron Murray will return. I'm telling you, Latrell Mitchell will return this game. Put your bottom dollar on it. Put your bottom dollar on it. That will be a tough one, but at least if you get that win against the Roosters, you help Penrith, which will help us, but you also, there's a little bit less pressure, because if we lose to the Roosters, we have to win this game, otherwise season over. At least you get some insurance, because after this game you got the Dragons, we got the Broncos round 27, and if we beat the Roosters, Penrith might have already wrapped up minor premiership. They might rest everybody against us. All right. The only reason why they might not rest everybody is because it's a home game for Penrith. But let's be real, their home game is not really a home game. So, and I don't think their fans are going to be focused on finals. So that's why that Roosters game is really important. However, that Souths game is equally important for one other reason. They are in our path to making finals, because they're on 10 wins. That is 1 win more than us. The other 2 teams that are on 11 haven't had their bye yet. Souths have had their bye. But I just feel like because the Knights, losing 2 of their best players for the whole season, Dylan Lucas and Dylan Brown, they're probably the ones that are going to drop off. But they've shown us that they can win games without them this year. But since the set restart rules have sort of been called a lot less, the set restarts have been called a lot less in the last couple of months. They've copped a hit to their super attack that showed itself the first 2 months of the year. When we beat the Rabbitohs, that massively increases our odds. Didn't realize they were on 10. Thought they were on 11. But yeah, they're in 6 right now. But that game is going to be massive. But you just know they're going to get everybody back for that game against us. But yeah, the Dragons game will not be easy at all either. Understand that. That game's at Allianz. Wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that. In my head, I'm meant to have a wedding on that day. So I probably won't be able to go to that one. But then again, I would be 2 or 3 weeks post-surgery, so I might still be on crutches, which makes things a little bit difficult. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But, yeah, the run home is massive for us, man. And there is a chance that we do make the 8, but we pretty much have to be perfect or close to it. But the way we're playing right now, really promising signs. The way that the things that we're doing really well is the aggression in the middle, a lot of hard work being done in the middle from guys like Bailey Hayward, from guys like our forward pack, from guys like Jacob Carraz. We just have to keep the ball, bro. We completed it like 84% on the weekend, or 87% on the weekend against the Warriors. Completed really highly against the Tigers. We must keep our completion rate high. Got to stop giving away penalties and set restarts. Silly, lazy, high tackle, stuff like that. Just the discipline, and it's going to help win. If we're well disciplined, battle in the middle, the battle in the middle gets a lot better. It gets a lot easier. And yeah, I'm very, very hopeful for the rest of this season if we can continue playing the way we're doing. And honestly, yeah, sorry, one more thing. All right, kicking game from our hearts have to be better. Another reason that we weren't really winning games at the start of the year was Lachlan Galvin was doing the bulk of the long kicking, okay? And we have the best long kicker, one of the best long kickers in the game, Why were we not using him? I know people were saying he had a groin injury, but man, the fact that we weren't using him was not using Matt Burton was very, very weird. I would actually like to see us use him for long kicks still, but it seems like the club has just abandoned him as a kicking option, which is so questionable. Like, it's so weird, man. I would love to see us use Matt Burton in that way, similar to, like how we used him in Origin, man. This this club loves Burton bombs. This club loves Matt Burton. Just start using his boot. Could you imagine the value of using, even though he's in the centers? If we're on that side, let him go in for a kick. Come on, boys. It's fucking Matt Burton. It's Matt Burton, bro. Like, think of, like, if we would have won by even more last week if we let Matt Burton do the kicking, bro. Well, do some kicking. Give him 2-3 kicks a game. I'm telling you, it will make us better. It will make us better. So that's just one thing that I would really love to see from this team. I'd love to see the aggression stay. I'd love to see all the hard running stay. I'd love to see more shape, but we just have to continue the free-flowing football, continue the offloads. Like, Jacob Krause is carrying us in the offloading division, man. He's just been incredible, bro. I just want to, when he offloads, other people offload, and that's just only going to help us play more attacking. Like, it's going to help us play more free-flowing, more attacking football. That's what we deserve, man. That is what we deserve. All right. So I'm actually just trying to look at the numbers here of the offloads because I'm just curious right now. Herbie Farnworth, right? Practically played every game this year. 17 games, he's got 54 offloads. Jacob Krause, 14 games. 2 of those, he played like half a game. 52. So basically, he's played 4 or 5 less games than Herbie Farnworth in number 1. And he's got fucking 50. He's got 2 less offloads. The rate that this guy is offloading at is absolutely crazy. He's up there with like props and stuff, man. It's actually kind of crazy. Viliama Kicker also 7th in offloads, 8 full games he's played this year. Kind of crazy when you think about it. I love offloads. My favorite thing in the game. In my opinion, the Dogs have to keep doing this. When we throw offloads, we look like a much better team. And if we're going to win these games on the run home, you're versing very tight ships like the Roosters, like defensively. You know what I mean? We versed the Warriors, obviously threw a ton of offloads against them. You make these forward packs of the Roosters and Rabbitohs move, you're only going to make it more difficult for them. We just have to make sure that those offloads hit the hands of our team, not the opposition teams. You've got to obviously make sure we're holding the ball as best as we can. But Karaz's offloads have been incredible this year because a lot of them are ending up in our hands. And it's a lot of those offloads are helping us progress up the park, helping us find holes in the defense, helping us get the defense on the back foot and asking the defense questions. It's always been a thing that we struggle with, but that's one thing that the offloads help us do, man. And I've also just been, one thing about Lachlan that I've been seeing the last few weeks, a lot less running sideways. When the start of the season, a lot of running sideways. And when you run sideways, you're trying to get around the defense. He's not that quick, so the defense is just able to slide and tackle him. But when you're running sideways, you're preventing your other players from running lines to help run off you. And it's also just you're running, the defender just stays where he is and leaves it for the next guy. You know what I mean? And you're covered defensively with the modern defensive system. Running sideways is not going to work. It's rookie shit. And what I've been seeing a lot more from Lachlan is playing straight, playing direct. And when you play direct, you're asking the defense questions. That's what's actually going to help cause a defensive breakdown. You asking the defense questions by running in. I wish I could show footage, right? But if you're running sideways, you're not getting any closer to the defense, not really asking them any questions. You're just running sideways, parallel with them. They just slide. They just slide and you're covered. The defense doesn't really have to make a decision. And not only that, it makes it harder for your own teammates to make a decision running off of you because you're running into their path. Like you have guys wanting to run straight. You can't run straight into a guy running sideways because you're going to collide. and or you're going to slow down, and it's just everything you're going to be doing is going to be more ineffective. Now, if you are running straight, you're directly asking the defense a question. So imagine this is your defensive line. You are running straight. This guy, your defender that you're targeting has to make a decision. The guys next to him have to make a decision. Do I help? Is he gonna break through? What are the guys next to him doing? They constantly, these things are going in his head. When Locker's running sideways, or when any player's running sideways, they don't really have to ask that many questions. They sort of know what they're doing, know where they're going. They know where the play's probably gonna end up. When you are engaging the line, the defense, all the guys around the ball, all the guys around the guy running the football has to ask questions. And when they're asking questions, there's a much higher chance of them getting a question wrong, making a bad read, making an unnecessary read. Sometimes, why are 3 players collapsing to one guy for? That's just going to open up the rest of the field. Why are you not helping when you, like, why is a defender not helping when he should, or helping when he shouldn't? That is what causes defensive breakdowns. You can't have a defensive breakdown if you don't ask them a question. A defender cannot get an answer wrong if there's no question in the first place. This is what you want to see from your halfback or your 5'8", or any player in the spine asking the defense question. And recently, we've seen Stephen Crichton asking the defense questions, Lachlan Galvin asking the defense questions, Bailey Hayward asking the defense questions. I would just love to see Connor Tracy start asking the defense more questions, because he's the least creative player on the team, in my opinion. But he's one of the hardest workers. Sort of makes up for it, but he's thrown a few intercepts this year. Barely got any try assists. There have been so many instances where he passes the ball when he should run, and he runs the ball when he should pass, and it does stifle our attack a little bit. And that's why, not to be harsh to him, but like when people ask me, where do you put Crichton, I would have put him at fullback. He might be less hard working and might not have the gas tank that Connor Tracy has, but the creativity and the decision making would definitely be a lot better, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I think Connor will be our fullback for the rest of the year. Next year is a different scenario, I guess. But he will be our fullback for the remainder of this year. You can just tell us the direction that the club's going in. And I would love to see a bit more expansive football being played from him, a little bit more risk-taking being played from him. But just at the end of the day, if he does his job and the rest of the guys can ask the defense questions and play more expansive and play more structured and unstructured football, right? Like, as long as the forwards do their job, as long as Connor Tracy does their job, puts these guys that are creative and playing creative football in positions to succeed, Crichton and Lachlan Galvin will make life easier for everybody. And and they both play very direct. That's why, and SOS also plays very direct. That's why these last 2 weeks have seemed a lot more open. Since Crichton came in, everything seemed a lot more open. And if we're not scoring crazy numbers, I get it, but we're getting very close to it, where in a few weeks, more fine tuning, more combination, more building combinations, more fine tuning, you're going to see more points being scored. So just really happy with how we've played the last 6 weeks. Obviously we're not looking like world beaters, but we're looking like a much better team. We're looking like a team that has an identity again, which is really, really promising. And I'm hoping we can grab a win this week. I'm going to definitely, on League Lads tonight, I'm definitely going to tip Melbourne, because of the last 2 weeks, I've tipped the opposing teams 13+. So just as a joke, I'm going to keep doing that. But I'm really confident going into the game this week. We had a really good game against Melbourne about 6 weeks ago that really jump-started our season, I think. The backs were amazing, and I can't wait to see if we can repeat that and replicate that this week. But overall, man, it's been a wild ride of a season. We've got 6 weeks left to go. I'm really hoping we can close this off and win a game of football, win a bunch more games of football, and make it into the finals. If we make it into the finals with the hellish run that we had in the first half of the season, I'll be so happy. I'll be so proud of the boys, because it did look dire at times this season. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'll be so stoked if we can make finals, man. But there's a long way to go. 6 weeks is going to feel like it's either going to go really quickly or feel like a lifetime. So I'm really stoked. But what we have to do as fans, as Dogs fans, is stick together. what we have to do as Dogs fans is let's go support the team. I'm going to be going to as many games as I can, especially before I'm in crutches. But yeah, we need to back them. Back them. Let's be nicer to these guys on social media. Yes, it is good to have demands as fans. I feel like we should never take our voice away. But I've seen a lot of negative talk surrounding guys like Rinakama and stuff. I'm like, dude, these guys, Rinakama's 20 years old, bro. Like, bro, he's a kid. We need to stop having these otherworldly expectations from these guys that are 20 and just have a bit more patience with them, man. Yes, Rinakama has had some shockers, but most of them are shocking halves instead of shocking games. He responds really well the next half. The Manny game, he responded well in the second half. The Raiders game, he responded well in the second half. Then the next game, he shakes it off. Those are really, really good signs, bro. And that's why I'm okay with Rinakama still playing. And I'm just stoked for this Melbourne game. I hope we can blow them off the park and have a really good performance. But I don't know, man. I still don't know what team's going to rock up next week. And that's the number one issue we need to resolve. That's the consistency. And I'm hoping that we can. But the boys are putting a smile back on my face, man. And I feel like a lot of the fan base is happy at the moment. And we just want to make finals and keep this level of play up. But I just feel like this win on the weekend against the Wires sent a message to everybody. And I just hope that defensive intensity stays, that the attacking mood that we're in stays, that we keep trying stuff and keep trying to play creative heads up footy. And I don't know, man. I feel like I have a good feeling about this week, but I don't know. Let's see how we go. Yeah. I just wanted to have a yarn about the Dogs. Sometimes 10 minutes is not enough for me to say how I really feel. This one was a video that's been a long time coming. I really hope you guys like it. As honestly, look, I'm very new to long form content outside of a podcast setting. I will be recording a podcast later tonight. I will be doing more videos like this. All right. And the podcast will be dropping like tomorrow, Tuesday night on League Lads, as always. But I still want to do more videos like this, okay? Especially in the off season, I will be making videos, or like when the season's over, reviewing everything. We'll probably do this all again towards the end of the season and the start of the next season. You know what I mean? So I'm very stoked to be making content with you guys, making content for you guys. I really want to find ways to get you guys involved. This is all really new for me. Long form content like this, I'm literally just talking to a camera. Like, I'm literally like talking to myself for the last hour and a half. Like, but one thing I will say is it doesn't feel like that, because I feel like we're all in this together. I know I'm talking to you guys, and that's really cool. And that's my mindset right now. So this is something I wanted to do for fun, and I had a lot of fun recording this. Okay. One thing's for sure is there'll be plenty more like this coming. I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this because I'm not doing this for any reason other than it's fun, and I really want to make Bulldog-centric content, like Bulldog-centered content. So, Bulldogs Unfiltered might be the name that sticks for whenever we do a Bulldogs episode, but I'll be doing a lot more different types of content on this channel. I am going to probably be doing other sport content on other channels, so I'm thinking of just on YouTube maybe having multiple. Like, this might be my dedicated NRL one, and then I like a dedicated NRL channel, and I'll have another channel for like things like basketball, things like cars, and like other avenues that I want to make content in. But this is hopefully the start of a massive new era for me. Full-time content, finally wanting to branch out outside of purely NRL stuff. I love the NRL, and I will always make content for it, but have more time to go and do other endeavors. And I know it's a bit off topic, of course, but nonetheless, this channel will have a lot of Bulldog-centered content, a lot of NRL-centered content, and let's try and shake up the YouTube platform, man. And I also want to do some videos talking about, other sports, obviously, other teams, other players, right? Old school games, if we can go back and watch those, that'd be cool. If I can do, like, say these new broadcast deals allow me to do some breakdowns, like X's and O's stuff, I'd love to do that. But yeah, I really want to chance my arm here, right? I've been planning this for a long time. I'm really glad to be able to, execute this. Sorry for the hiccup. I just really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's very raw, but like I said, Bulldogs Unfiltered makes sense, right? This was pretty unfiltered. The vibe is good, but and real ones remembered, like when I started this, man, I was just a 22-year-old kid, bro. I was a 22-year-old kid. I was mad angry because we were finishing last and shit. Like the year I started this, we finished with the wooden spoon. The anger is no longer really there because like we're not that bad anymore. And just I like this group a lot more than the groups in the past. So when I say like if we ever start winning spoons again, unfiltered will mean probably a lot more swearing and anger. But right now the vibes are good, and I like this team, and I like Cameron Serraldo. I think there are things about him that grinds my gears, of course, but I think that happens with every coach, bro. So it's just I'm trying to stay positive, trying to stay happy. I don't really want to like talk shit about this team that is working really hard for us, and that's the most important thing for me. And I feel like a lot of fans are like this. We just want to see a team that tries their absolute hardest, because the worst thing is when you're losing games and you have to question whether your players have their hearts in it. There's no doubt in my mind, every single player playing at the moment has their heart in it. They're fully bought in, and I'm praying that that stays that way, man, because I'm just so proud of the way the boys played the last couple of weeks, and I hope that we can continue that, because I would love to see my team in finals. And I will say this, and I think my Doggies fans will agree, man. If we can make finals, a lot of teams will not want to verse us, because we'll have a massive wind in our sails, bro, and we'll have a lot of momentum going into finals. If we do make it, a lot of teams aren't going to want to verse us. So let's see how we go. I'm stoked that we're in this position, that we could potentially make finals. If you told me that 4 weeks ago, I would have been like, mate, you're smoking some shit. But I believe. I want to believe, and I'm going to try my hardest to believe. Let's believe together, guys. Let's go to these games. Let's root for these mighty Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and let's get behind them, boys. Yeah, I hope you liked my trade offer. 1.5 hour video because I missed a 10-minute video. Hope you guys like this sort of stuff. There is plenty more to come, but I wanted to say thank you guys for all the support. It has been amazing. We've TikTok, we've conquered, all right, and we're gonna keep conquering it. We're cooking on Instagram. We're cooking on the live streams on Kick, even though I haven't been streaming that much recently. The streams will start to pick up soon. If not this season, then next season. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm just hoping that I can stream rugby league games next year again. Just hoping. But if I can't, it's fine. And now let's just do YouTube. Let's give YouTube a crack. Long form content takes time, but I got time now, and I want to dedicate that time to you guys and put out some good content that you guys can really enjoy watching. And I hope you guys really, really enjoy this. I just want to thank you guys for the support. If you guys are here, it means you followed me from another platform over to here, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So praying that the Dogs make the 8. Praying that you guys keep supporting me, and obviously you guys are probably praying that I keep making content. So, and that's gonna keep happening. But I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe and show me support. And if you guys have any pointers at all, please give me any feedback that you guys have. I'm just trying to improve my content, and I will tailor make my content to suit you guys. I have plenty of creative ideas, of course. Some work, some don't work, but I will do what you guys want to watch. All right. So let me know any feedback you have. I know this was incredibly raw, and I'm probably not going to do too much editing. If I want to leave any ums and ahs in here, it is going to be totally natural. Okay. But I wanted to do this all in one take because I like being natural, and this is the sort of vibe I'm going for. So I just hope you guys like this sort of stuff, man. I was really nervous before recording this video for some weird reason. I don't know. I've done content a million times, yet I'm nervous because this is a new endeavor for me, and I just want to smash it out of the park, man. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Make sure to watch the League Lads episode that drops tomorrow as well. We'll talk about the Dogs there a little bit with Sui, and with I think Hads Rips will be our guest host today, or guest appearance today. Make sure to subscribe to League Lads as well, because that's our weekly podcast. We've been gone for 4 years, man. It's crazy. What a wild ride it's been. And now I'm on YouTube, bro. I love you guys, man. You are the fucking best. And I hope you enjoyed this, man. But please, if you didn't enjoy it, tell me why. If you enjoyed it, tell me why as well. Give me all the feedback. I just want to smash this shit out of the park for you guys. So, yeah, episode 1 on YouTube done. Hopefully we can keep this up. I love you guys all. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and peace.